Yo, what's up, guys? Another disappointing loss tonight for the Toronto Raptors, losing to the Brooklyn Nets 96-81. Now, guys, another difficult game for the Raptors tonight. A very difficult offensive output by the Raptors tonight. Just not doing enough tonight, guys. The offensive side of the floor to find a way to get a win tonight. Obviously, second night of a back-to-back, Jakob returns, great news, but then obviously later on into the game, very early on into the game, Jakob obviously leaves the game early, really hurts the Raptors, of course. Raptors had this similar start tonight as they did last night against the Celtics, starting off the game really well and then letting Brooklyn go on like 11-0 run near the end of the first quarter. Raptors did find a way to come back a little bit, but Brooklyn continued to shoot the ball a little bit better in the second quarter. Raptors were playing well, guys, at times in this game, but God almighty, their shooting drives me nuts, especially offensively. They have too many lulls offensively. Now, when I say the Raptors play good, I meant more in the second half, of course. The first half was not very good, obviously, offensively. The Raptors were putrid shooting-wise, getting out-rebounded at times. Brooklyn was making their shots. Raptors were struggling to make open shots, just making shots in general. It was another repeat of what we saw last night at times in the game. Same thing tonight as well, giving Brooklyn second chance opportunities. The Raptors not doing what they're supposed to do defensively with switches and finding ways to box out. These were just very easy things that these guys were really screwing up on in tonight's game. Now, Brooklyn took a massive lead at one point in this game. They were obviously up by 15 points. Raptors found a way to come back. They went on like a 13-0 run in the third quarter there. So they really started to show some offensive output. Quickly, who had a few difficult games, was starting to shoot the ball a little bit better in the end of the third quarter there. Raptors were starting to move the ball better, getting some stops defensively. Brooklyn didn't have a basket for like 6 to 7 minutes, close to 8, more like 8 to 9 actually. But it was still frustrating to see after the Raptors took the lead, after coming back down by 15, once again, the Raptors' offensive output went flat again. It's happening too many bloody times in recent weeks where the Raptors have a great little bit of offense and then they go completely flat. And that's what happened again tonight against the Brooklyn Nets in the fourth quarter, especially. You take the lead like I mentioned, and then you go completely cold. You got guys like Scotty Barnes, who had a horrendous game again tonight. Scotty only having 6 points, guys. That is not good enough for a guy you're paying all this money to, okay? Scotty's had 2 back-to-back games where he struggled, and we need to see more from Scotty. You're one of the best players on the team. Even though you're not having a great night, you gotta find a way to contribute in other ways. Scotty has not done that the last few nights. He was minus 22 on the floor tonight, guys. That is not good enough for your franchise player. We need to see more from Scotty Barnes. Brandon Ingram had an off night, even though he was carrying most of the offensive workload in the first half. Ingram only finishes off with 19 points, guys, on 7 of 18 shooting. B.I. had one of those nights tonight where he was missing some shots. Brooklyn was doubling him at times, so it was very difficult for him to get his game going, guys. Then you have guys like Jakob obviously only played 6 minutes after leaving the game. Quickly played 31 minutes, having 17 points. Him and Brandon Ingram were the only 2 guys for the Raptors in double figures tonight. How the hell do you expect to win a ball game with 2 guys in double figures? It's very frustrating to me how since R.J. Barrett went down, this team here does not get any scoring from their bench right now. It is really, really pissing me off, And then you got guys like Ochai, only playing 20 minutes, 7 points. Jacoby Walter, 23 minutes, 9 points on 4 of 5 shooting. Shed only had 2 points on 1 of 7 shooting. Sandro played 19 minutes, only 4 points on 1 of 4 shooting. Murray Boyce played 18 minutes, only 8 points, 4 of 8 shooting. Grady Dick played 17 minutes, only 3 points. Jamison Battle, 12 minutes, 4 points. What the hell do you expect from a team like the Raptors when you get no production from your bench? Like last night, they got dominated on the bench by Boston. Tonight, again, their bench was absolutely non-existent tonight, guys. It is just unacceptable to see guys having down years regressing. Guys like Grady Dick. I know Jamal Shed is not a scorer. He's a pure passer, but we need some more offensive production by him, like from Jacoby Walter, who struggled from the field as late, even though he went 4 for 5, only 9 points. That is just not enough to win a game. Ochai's not scoring enough. Jamison Battle doesn't get a lot of minutes, but he's there to shoot threes, make open shots. He had some opportunities tonight, guys. 5 shots, but he only made 2. You need to make your baskets when you're open tonight. But that obviously I'm pointing the finger to Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickly, some of the higher paid guys on the team. They were missing open opportunities, missing open shots. It was driving me nuts, and Brooklyn's got some nice players on the team. Michael Porter Jr., really nice player, having 24 points on 11 with 11 rebounds. You had Claxton with 12 points. You had Demon with 16, Clowney with 19. Say they had 4 guys in double figures at least, Brooklyn. Their bench wasn't amazing either tonight, Brooklyn, but their starters actually performed well tonight, guys. Man only had 5. Traore only had 8. Sharp only had 8. Wolf had none. Williams had 2. Martin had 2 after he had 26 the last time the Raptors played the Knicks. So it was mainly Brooklyn starters is the reason why they won this ball game tonight, guys. And obviously without Jakob, last game yesterday, tonight as well, the Raptors are going to get out-rebounded, and that's exactly what happened again tonight. Getting out-rebounded 56-45 on the boards, guys. Brooklyn absolutely dominated on the boards tonight. Offensive rebounds, Raptors had 9-6. Brooklyn assist-wise had more, but the shooting of the Raptors was just pathetic. 37% from the field, 32 of 86 shooting-wise, 10 of 36 from 3, only 28% from the field. How the hell are you going to win games if you can't make your shots? And this is what we're starting to see with the Raptors offense too many times, guys, where they have lulls like I've been saying this video. It's just very frustrating. And turnovers as well. 15 bloody turnovers. You got 7 in the first quarter alone. You have to limit these turnovers. They were killing you at times in this game. Brooklyn had 22, and they still found a way to win this ball game, guys. Raptors even had more points in the paint, but Brooklyn was just better at times in this game, guys. They made their shots. Brooklyn had 47% shooting-wise from the field, 40% from 3, 75% from free throws. Raptors only got to the line 8 times. They didn't get to the line in the second half to like the 6-minute mark of the fourth quarter. It was just very similar to the Boston game last night. You went an entire half without a free throw, and then you did it again almost in the second half tonight. Just unacceptable. Lost by the Raptors tonight. You only score 18 points in the first, 16 points in the fourth. There is just not enough offensive output for the Raptors right now. You cannot be continuously relying on Brandon Ingram to score 25 to 30 a night. You're not going to win that way. And a guy like Scotty Barnes, who has not performed well the last couple games, when he's not having a good night, it's going to be a mess. After Sandro Mamukelashvili had 24 last night, he was a minus 23 on the court tonight, guys. Like I mentioned, what do you have? Only 4 points tonight? Like I said, 4 points on 19 minutes. That is not good enough. You ain't going to win that way. You don't have a proper big to back up Jakob Poeltl right now. The Raptors are really struggling on the boards, like I mentioned. Jonathan Mobile's not really trusting right now. He's playing with a 905 more often right now, guys. So the Raptors seriously have to consider going into the trade market, trying to find a center. I've been hearing some talk about LaMelo Ball as well. Obviously, there's some talk about Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, Domantas Sabonis at times. These are some names that I've been hearing circulating regarding the Raptors. But the way this team is constructed right now, guys, the Raptors have shown some great flashes this season. Obviously, went on that 9-game winning streak. But the way things have been going on this last stretch of games, guys, the last couple weeks, things have not looked good for the Raptors. The Raptors have struggled without Jakob. They're 4-6 without him right now, guys. They desperately need to get themselves another big, because Mamu's like a stretch 4. He's not really a 5. Can't handle the big man down low in the post. We saw what happened yesterday with Queta. We saw it again tonight, guys. Just too many times you're scratching your head thinking to yourself, this team here shoots themselves in the foot at times, and then sometimes you just say to yourself, this team here is just not properly constructed in certain positions. But guys, tell me your thoughts and opinions on this game tonight. Too many times the Raptors were flat offensively. Too many times you gave Brooklyn second chance opportunities. Too many times you left Brooklyn wide open to shoot threes. There's just a lot of things that Coach Darko's got to adjust to. And He's at fault sometimes for not making adjustments quick enough. And last night was an example. Tonight was just a flat performance by the offense on the second night of a back-to-back, but that is not an excuse. You let Boston beat you last night, who was on a second night of a back-to-back, and tonight your performance was just too flat, not good enough, not enough energy by the team that you could just see it. They did not have the legs tonight to find a way to win this ball game tonight, guys. So very frustrating loss for the Raptors tonight, guys. We'll love to hear your thoughts and opinions. So click like if you like this video. Subscribe if you guys want to see more content. Go Raptors, go as always, guys. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Raptors Unfiltered. Ciao, guys.